We are on the morning break in the second day of questioning of the undercover police manager, Keith Edmondson. Keith has been going through more questions, particularly focused on the policing of the Stephen Lawrence Family Justice Campaign. We were shown sections from the 1993-1994 SDS annual report that talked about how violent the campaign was. He tried to pretend that what was in front of us all in black and white wasn't there, and we don't understand plain English. Yeah, he talked about a bunch of other stuff. I'm joined by Nancy from, Jennifer, sorry. What do you make of what we've heard?
So a lot of what we're concerned about is structural racism, the collateral intrusion, ruining people's lives, and what justification there is. I mean, there's a couple of critical points where there really is no justification. And the council was really making it clear where the SDS is having this sort of position, which they're unrepentant about, that collateral intrusion into peaceful protesters' lives is fair when actually it's illegal. So, particularly with Stephen Lawrence, there was a lot of issues with like who was potty mouth? Oh,
so there's Bob Potter. So Potty Bob, as he was known, he's become famous. He was one of the more senior members of the management who would come down and join the SDS Safe House meetings. And according to Peter Francis, was very loud, could get drunk, and used casual racism and sexism. There's a famous incident where he barged his way into a black church and racially abuses members of the congregation, assaulting one of them. This leads to his early retirement.
I mean, I don't really want to. One of the ongoing questions is the role of the senior managers. So what we've watched today is a senior manager make excuses for violent structural racism, which is imbued in all the way that policing has happened. And we can see what the long-term impacts are of the rise of the far right. But as you said, there's evidence, there's reports, there's evidence, and we're seeing really complicity or ignorance or the senior management in this.
Yeah, well, we saw some reports from the Joy Gardner Justice Campaign, Justice for Joy, characterizing it as anti-police. No recognition that, in fact, it was the actions of the violent police officers who brutally tied up and murdered in one of the most violent and heinous, disturbing ways possible, has anything to do with the feelings of the community. We saw reports saying that this is as much an anti-police campaign as is anything else. The detailed reports on what Joy Gardner's mother said about it, really sort of characterizing these as just inflammatory words designed to stir up the crowd. Quite disturbing and deeply distasteful.
Yeah. And the thing that's worrying is that we're not paying enough attention. Well, what we're hearing is the senior management responsible for heavily intruding and destabilizing campaigns for racial justice, and there's no press coverage. Is there?
No. There's been no members of the press at any of the hearings this time.
And we're really seeing what's going on in the role of senior management, which is really what we need to understand, the relationship between what the undercover police officers are doing and also who has said that it's okay, this type of intrusion in people's lives who are clearly, they knew were nonviolent. They knew that they were you can hear from his words that they were on the right side of history against systematic racism and systematic violence of racially incited violence.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's helpful.
No. I mean, it's absolutely. We opened this morning with Sir John Mitting giving Keith Edmondson a second chance to answer the question that he put to him at the end of yesterday, which was about the huge discrepancy that exists between what Keith Edmondson said in his written statement and what he's answered when he's been sat on the stand, which is in his written statement, he can positively say that he definitely never read the tradecraft manual section on sexual liaisons. When he's presented it to him and it's shown when that document was brought into circulation within the SDS, it's obvious that was during his time as the Detective Chief Inspector. He must have read it. If he didn't read it, he was being negligent in his job. The fact that he didn't act on it is a sign that he tacitly agreed with it. He can't square that circle. He says, well, I must have read it. I don't remember reading it. If I had read it, I would have asked Andy Cole what he meant by these terms, which are just so lily-livered. I think that the chair was like, he asked him again, he had no new answer. He was just embarrassed by the fact that he blatantly wasn't doing his job. I actually don't believe that he read it at the time. I believe him when he says that he doesn't remember it, because I don't believe that he could have read it, because I think we're seeing a pattern where he was simply not doing the role. He had Bob Lambert as his detective inspector, running the actual unit, doing all the important jobs. It was his turn as DCI. He wanted to leave the special branch as having been a DCI. It appeared like he wasn't, he was asleep at the wheel, essentially.
Yeah. Do you really think so, though? This is my question. Like, this is, if there's a pattern of who was asleep at the wheel, but they are very intelligent people.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
At some point, we can only have so much of, oh yeah, I didn't read it, or I didn't read it. There's like, we can understand that maybe there's like mental health issues lower down the ranks. There's like obviously mental disorders with the undercover police officers, but there's a lot of intelligence in the system.
Yeah.
And somebody was making these decisions.
Oh, 100%.
And saying that it was okay.
Yeah. I mean, I fully believe that he was tacitly approving sexual relations being used. I think he was probably in on the idea that it was a tactic, but I can accept that he probably didn't read the paperwork. Didn't read the reports. I'm reminded again and again every time I hear him talk from what John Webb, the detective sergeant, said last Thursday when he referred to him as naive and perpetually surprised by things that he should already know, which is exactly what we've been presented with. I take your point though. I think I don't think it's any sort of defense. I don't like. I'm always wary of this idea that it's like some sort of cock up rather than conspiracy. I think it's very much a conspiracy. I think very much these officers were going out with the tactic of deceiving women in sexual relationships as part of their deployments. And the fact that everyone bar one of the officers under his, when he was in charge of the unit, did that speaks volumes. Yeah. But I can also believe that he didn't read the paperwork.
So I think what we're going to see is that they knew that they were getting information that they wanted for a specific reason with a tactic that was working.
Yes, very much.
And there was somebody, and that at different stages there's like tacit or implicit, but really it was a tactic that was working 100%. For their aims. And who was it that was smart enough to actually have made this decision? And did they hire people that were stupid? On purpose. No.
In terms of, I'm not sure about I think we can see a growth of the tactic, not just the sex with activists, but the cohabiting, having a partner that comes very much from Bob Lambert's experiences when he was in the field, and then his time as a manager and his encouragement of people like Mark Jennifer to do the same thing. I think in terms of I think when it comes to senior management in Special Branch and the fact that they rotated everybody around, was that sooner or later you were going to get a Keith Edmondson in charge.
Yeah.
And this was ideal for someone like Bob Lambert, who had his own vision of what the SDS should be. Yeah. We saw when we heard from Bob Lambert last week, he sees himself as Mr. SDS.
Yeah.
He modeled himself on Conrad Dixon, the founder of the unit. He is SDS. I think what we're hearing very much from Keith Edmondson is he was Special Branch. He saw himself as part of the wider organisation.
Yeah.
He talks about it being Special Branch reporting, whereas Lambert was referred to as SDS reporting. I guess these things don't really matter. The key thing is that there's no two ways about it. It was a tactic. Yeah. They were not only aware, they were encouraging.
Yeah.
We've had a question. Somebody from Campaign Opposing Police Surveillance. Love the way Mitting jumped straight in first thing this morning with a challenge to Edmondson about whether he read the tradecraft manual that was updated during his tenure of office. Yeah, I think it's really good that the chair intervenes. Is one of the frustrations of many people who follow public inquiries is this particular public inquiries. The chair being is very light touch. It's quite common when you're watching the Affected Blood or Grenfell or others that the chair intervenes on a regular basis. It's quite unusual for this chair to intervene. And when he does intervene, he tends to come back to it because if he's not satisfied with the answer, he wants the witness to reflect. The the fact that, I mean, like, Keith Edmondson clearly hadn't reflected. He had no new words. And I mean, after yesterday's hearing, we all commented, like, he could have done that so much better. He could have bullshitted the same way, but used better words.
Yeah.
He didn't even learn to do that overnight. I mean, it was just crap. It was a crap go of it, you know?
Yeah.
We're only on a short break. We'll be going back in fairly soon. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, it's like it's a lot of, it's horrible, and we need to not turn away. Like it's horrible, and
It's your first time at the hearings?
it's my second
Oh,
time.
your second time. I didn't get you on video last time.
You did get me on video last time. I thought when you asked me to do this, I'm only going to say, I'm like, I feel sick and we need to keep watching.
Sure.
So thank you for your
No worries.
dedication, and like
Would you encourage others to come along?
You have to, because the thing is it's at the core of what's going wrong and what has enabled the situation that we're in right now. And the people that are here week after week need the support of everybody who's been impacted, and we need to not look away, because this has led to the situation we're in now. So
Absolutely.
Thank you for your dedication.
Cheers, comrade.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks for joining us. I will be doing another video again at lunchtime. Join us then. Bye for now.